Hello, I'm Parker McNeely. This is a presentation on nuclear energy. It is an evaluation of sources. My first source is an internet article that recognizes many potential and current uses for nuclear power. The author's lecture notes show many of the hazards of nuclear energy. The author's position is against nuclear energy because they think there are too many environmental and economic variables involved. One unreliable reason for this source is that both of the authors are professors of microbiology. Even though the authors have a professional background, it is not in nuclear energy. So the information in the article is not provided by experts in nuclear energy. Another reason why this source is unreliable is that the primary source used in the article is a pamphlet titled Why a Future for the Nuclear Industry is Risky. This is heavily biased towards the side that is against nuclear energy, which leads to unreliability. One reason why this source is reliable is that it is on a national library, so the information must be accurate. Overall, my conclusion for this source is that it is unreliable because the bias against nuclear energy clearly neglects many of the benefits that nuclear energy has to offer. Source 2 is a video that analyzes many benefits and drawbacks of nuclear energy while carefully considering alternative approaches to this issue. The creator only shows an opinion at the very end when he explains how nuclear energy can be one of the many alternatives to fossil fuels. One reason why this source is reliable is that the YouTuber has nearly 25 million subscribers and he is very well known for his educational content. Another reliable reason is that the YouTuber uses expert input from science professors at the University of Dayton and MIT and other prestigious universities to write the video script. My last reliable reason for this source is that the creator evaluates both the benefits and downsides of nuclear energy at an equal weight. My conclusion is that this source is reliable because of its professionalism, expert input, and equal representation of both sides. My third source is a journal article that analyzes the use of nuclear energy by countries and how those countries deal with the challenges that nuclear energy brings. Challenges are like the cost and time needed to manage a nuclear power plant. The author is against nuclear energy because she believes it takes too long to become profitable or useful. One reason why this source is reliable is that the author is a research professor at the Institute of Science and Technology at George Washington University. She is also on a science board for atomic scientists. Therefore, she has enough professional background to talk about nuclear energy and provide accurate information on it. One reason why this source is unreliable is that the journal article focuses too much on how much time it takes for nuclear energy to be profitable or useful. This leads to a little bit of one-sidedness. The reason why this source is reliable is that the author uses professional language and sources made from experts to emphasize her points about nuclear energy. In turn, this makes her reliable. My overall conclusion for this source is that even though there is a little bit of bias, it is reliable because the information comes from trustworthy sources and is presented in a very professional way. My conclusion for the entire presentation is that many consider nuclear energy to be just as concerning as fossil fuels are. This is because of radioactive waste, lots of resources being required to build and upkeep nuclear facilities, and the high cost. However, it is a very common understanding that nuclear energy is a viable alternative to fossil fuels because of its low greenhouse gas emissions, it has an independence from environmental variables, and it can last a long time. In general, nuclear energy is a very useful tool for transitioning away from fossil fuels when it is implemented over a long time.